What is a subtle sign that someone's life sucks? They don't get excited to go home after work, find reasons to stay at work longer. I worked in a large office environment for 30 years, and over time I observed that the people who had hard lives often were the ones who were hyper into things like office Christmas or birthday parties. I think it was often the only celebrations they got to be part of. They have good advice for people who've just experienced trauma, or for how to handle oddly specific and fucked up situations. They look tired every time you see them. They're very interested in what you've got going on, but don't really share themselves. They're distracted. Disproportionate reactions. Their reactions to most things are normal or even low-key, but occasionally they have a huge response to something minor. Key sign of trauma. When they look for happiness in other people, and their whole day can be ruined if a certain person says or does something that they don't like. Sometimes, when they seem less excited or stop doing things they used to love, it might mean things aren't going well for them. Super independent because they learned not to rely on anybody. Misappropriated anger. They're just trying to hold it together, but close friends and family can see the cracks. Just be nice to everyone, you might not see the cracks yet. When something is offered to them, they always feel like they don't deserve it. They always politely decline any kind of offer. For example, if you know they are hard on money and you don't want to go out to eat alone, so you offer to pay for a meal for them to come with you. They may decline it not because they aren't hungry or don't want to hang out with you, but because they feel they don't deserve to have their meal paid for. Usually some kind of sign of abuse, of them being unworthy in the eye of a spouse or a parental figure, etc. This might be a weird one, but people who are constantly unfazed. Bad things will happen, like the kind of bad things that make everyone freak out, and they just coast like it's just another normal day. They wince if anyone around them moves quickly. They nonchalantly talk about traumatizing things like it's no big deal when everyone else is horrified. If you ask them what their life would be like in a perfect world, they can't even come up with an answer. They're too lost to even think about it. For me, the cleaning and house duties start slacking. Dishes stay in the sink overnight. I haven't swept for a while, but my faux face is on, bright and happy. You say, "How's it going?" They say, "It's going." They are dead inside. They read posts like this one to see if they are there. They look tired, absolutely energy low-powered, and sometimes they give the best advice to others that they should use for themselves. When they seem to live vicariously through movies, TV, TikTok. They don't talk about what's happening to themselves, they talk about what they saw someone else do, real or fictional. That's really nice of you to ask. Not everyone is bombastic. Some people are disheveled and isolate themselves because they are unhappy and they don't know how to deal with people. When shit hits the fan and everybody is running around waving their arms screaming, you can spot them. There will always be one guy who just sorta looks a bit tired, rolls up his sleeves and starts methodically fixing the things within his power to do so whilst just blatantly ignoring the catastrophe around him. To everybody else, the end is nigh. To him, this is Tuesday. People who have been through some shit are reading these replies and realizing for the first time what their giveaways were all this time. They become desperate for outside validation. The maturity with which they handle unexpected events. Don't brush their teeth, hygiene. They drink a lot. Might not be subtle. Nothing phases them, like their house could be on fire and they're like, "Dang, wanna go smoke, why no?" They are overly concerned about what other people are doing. Happy people just want everyone else to be happy. They perceive a neutral stimulus in a negative way. E.g., those group of people just laughed. They must be bitching about me. They put others down. When people make it sound like their life is perfect. On Facebook. When they choose to work as much as possible. They don't react to nothing anymore. They still compliment, feel things, show love, but it's they've seen shit. And they got this stare like, bro, I get what you're telling me, but the shit I've been through, I don't got time for this. Whenever they go to a bar they are alone, and not even the drunk people will approach you because you look like you are either about to cry or punch a hole in the wall. I know this from personal experience. They need to constantly flaunt themselves and their possessions. Always shit-talking other people, no matter what. Always gossiping about others. When they come into work on their day off, they always smile but their eyes are sad. A withdrawn nature, with a shy kindness when spoken to. Timid people tend to have scars. The truly heartbreaking thing about this is how many of us are just reading vague descriptions of ourselves. Gonna be another hard day wandering through my head. Endlessly posting all day, every day, on social media. They yell at fast food workers. Losing weight not on purpose. Their conversations are majority complaints. They only socialize with coworkers. They don't talk much about things they did on the weekend, or when they took those 2 weeks off. Their hobbies are primarily passive, solo activities like watching television, playing video games, listening to podcasts, or reading books. The amount of time they spend online. Being overly concerned about what others do with themselves. You can sometimes tell from their driving. They become invisible people, when they can. They are polite, keep to themselves, but disappear into their home and don't engage with others because it's draining and or mentally exhausting. They may or may not feel lonely, but realize that life has hit too many times, and all they want to do is feel safe and quiet at the end of their day. They start missing a lot of days at work and become less responsive and hard to get a hold of. Their eyes are red. Not from drinking, but from crying in private. They avoid direct eye contact with everyone they. The only they talk about is what other people are doing to them. When I come across those snark subs on here with people spending hours wasting time keeping tabs on some obscure reality star or influencer that they really have to go out of their way to keep up with just to talk shit about them, I know their lives are shit. All they talk about is other people. Mentioning a grudge they have from years ago. They like to arrive early or stay late at their workplace even if it's just to eat or read. The bats keep stealing the food. Always gossiping about other. You all really don't know the difference between people with sucky lives and people with sucky personalities. When they're staring back at you in the mirror. Engaging in dangerous situations all the time and not trying to avoid it. Go to work, come home and go to bed. Spend the whole weekend in bed. Get up Monday and repeat. Well, let's see. I just realized that I haven't combed my hair in 3 days. I forgot to eat again today. I avoid conversation with people that I love. There is nothing in the world so damned important that it can't be put off until tomorrow. Damn, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's depressing. It is fairly common for people with depressions to be extremely helpful and supportive for other people. So if you have a friend who helps you, maybe you should have an eye on them too. Depression. They post all about how great their life is on social media. A visibly obvious medical condition that they don't appear to be treating. They're 80 years old and working at Walmart. Easily angered, hateful and negative about everything and everyone. always looking for conflicts and chaos. Before I left teaching, I was refusing to sleep because I knew the moment I would fall asleep I would have to wake up and go teach again. Apologizing profusely over everything, including the smallest things. After I saw what my ex's life at home was, I understood where her need for control and to be liked stemmed from. And I feel like it's a pattern: the overwhelming want to control something, people, themselves, their environment, is something I always observe with people I know have a fucked up past.